flight. Let's go. Butterfly, supersonic. I told you I never wanted you to come between everything I want. I've got a bad tendency. I can't help but fall for disaster.
Hello, I'm David Hackoff. I'm the Executive Director of NewFest, and I am so thrilled to welcome you to this exclusive conversation with the cast and creator of Young Royals on Netflix. We are so excited to be doing this conversation. It is part of the 34th annual New York LGBTQ+ Film Festival, which is happening October 13th through 25th. We have more than 130 films and conversations like this one that are happening in person in New York. And also many of our films are available to stream virtually throughout the United States. So we hope you will join us. We are really excited about this conversation. There are a lot of super fans of Young Royals. I have to admit, I am one of them. I absolutely love this show. I fell in love with it last year. I told everyone I know to watch it. I think that the writing and the acting is so wonderful, and it's just a really beautiful series. And I can't wait for season 2, and I'm sure you can't either. And so we are so excited to have, as I said, the cast and the creator here. And to moderate today's conversation, we have MTV correspondent and cultural commentator, Ryan Mitchell. Take it away, Ryan.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you so much to NewFest and Netflix. I am beyond excited to be here. Let me just say this, Young Royals has quickly become a new fave. So I'm just very honored to get the pleasure of chatting with such an incredible panel of talent. Let's just jump right in because I know all of you, like myself, cannot wait much longer. So first up is the incredible creator and writer, Lisa Ambiorn. What's up? Next up is, of course, our Prince Willem, played by Edvin Redding.
Hello.
Oh my God, how cute. What is happening? And last but certainly not least, playing Simone is Omar Rudberg.
Hey.
Hi, how is everyone feeling? This is such a moment to have you all sitting here for NewFest. Let's get some initial feelings out there. How are we feeling?
Nervous.
Yeah,
happy but nervous. Yeah.
It's good description. Yeah, happy but nervous. I'm also like being watched by my mother here, the queen. She's right here. So everything's under control.
I mean, one thing about her, from what I've learned from the show, she is watching your every move.
Yes, she is. She is.
Before we dish all
Love
about
you, Mom.
But before we dish all about season 1 and of course season 2, actually I want to start with Lisa. As the creator and writer on the show, can you talk about the moment you knew Edvin and Omar were your Willem and Simone?
Oh wow, yeah. I mean, it was pretty straightforward when they did their first camera test together. It was really hard. Like, we did a very wide search in the casting, and there was so many different like capabilities we needed in these characters. I mean, with like Simon being a singer, and the prince obviously having to have this very like sensitiveness, but still this like able to go into this like role that he has been given. And Roshta, who with the casting director, when they set out to find them, it was a big puzzle, because the most important part were obviously what they were going to be like together. And we did a casting session with Edvin and Omar, which was just like you could tell like 10 seconds in, you were like, yes, yeah, like this is it. And then we actually went out to Kaggeholm, which is our like location, and did a screen test with them, where Omar was playing the piano and Edvin was walking up to him, and they just improvised, and it was beautiful. Like everyone was like crying when they saw it, and we were like, that's them, like that's Simon and Edvin.
Yeah, that was beautiful. That camera test, it was like during late summer too, in that like magical place. It felt very like Call Me by Your Name-ish. I loved it. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so that leads me to Omar and Edvin. Like, I guess what made you both say yes to this project? Was it that similar feeling that Lisa's talking about? What made you say yes, Omar?
Well, so when I first heard about the project and what it was going to like be about, I directly just fell in love with the whole thing, you know, with the prince and this little kid going to the school and this like forbidden romance. I just love that kind of stuff. So I was just like, I'm down. And then I got to read the script, and then I was like, wait, not only that, but I'm also like gonna sing and like do all of this different stuff. I was just like, no, I'm gonna get this role or I'm gonna die. That's how I.
You also wanted to play Wilhelm first.
Oh
Do you
yeah,
remember that?
yeah. I was like, I'm gonna be the prince. When I met Edvin, I was like, he's gonna be the prince, and I'm.
Oh my God, Edvin, when did you find that news out that he wanted to be the prince? And like, also, what made you say yes?
I found out about him wanting to play the prince much, much later. You know, he didn't reveal that at first. No, because I mean, our first audition together, it was very nice, and it felt like we clicked instantly because we had like no time to get to know each other privately. We just instantly got to know each other as Simon and Willem. So that was really beautiful, and I feel like we clicked instantly. I remember getting the question from the director, like, what do you feel about, like, we've tried some different Simons, what do you feel? And I remember I was pretty sure that Omar was going to play Simon. But I mean, I was very attracted to this project like after my first casting, I think, because I only got maybe half a scene or something to do my first audition. But I felt privately like Edvin clicked with Wilhelm as well, which is really, really beautiful. And when I got to meet Rojda, the director, she was incredible, and I felt like I have to work with her now. And you know, I fell in love with the people, I think, and the story as a whole, as it like continued to grow like over time, it just got better and better.
It most definitely did, and it's so beautiful to watch how this story progressed. And Edvin, I mean, you've been acting since you were a little boy. So what does it feel like to be in such a big hit at this stage in your career? Is it, I'm assuming, surreal?
Yeah, of course. It's very, very surreal. And although we're very proud of what we've done, I don't think any of us like expected this to happen. It feels nice to like, of course, I'm super, super happy that the show's successful like internationally and that we can reach a crowd, because I think it's a very important story. But for me as a person, it's also pretty terrifying. You know, what if I peak now and all that? But I don't think so.
Trust me. You have so much more to do. And even Omar, I'm like, you spoke a little bit about this, like how Simon sings on the show, and you yourself, I mean, it's crazy. I heard your voice on the show, and then I went and stalked you all over social media and found out that you were actually an incredible artist. And I was like, what? So what does this mean for you? Did you enjoy those musical elements of this show?
Yes, I mean 100%. Not only that, I really clicked with the character. I could relate to Simon like directly when I started reading the script and all of that. I felt a connection with my character Simon, and then I also get to do the other part, which is like the music, singing, you know, singing in harmony with like a choir. And I've never like sang in a choir before, like me personally, I've never done that. So it was also like I got to learn how to actually like, I'm a pop singer and a little, you know, urban R&B kind of singer.
Yeah.
But I get to like translate that,
Right.
like
Okay.
I get to translate that into like a whole different like thing. It was like a choir, so it was just magical to me to be a part of that and do all of that. Yeah, sure.
And I think this is for everyone, because I want to look at this next question from obviously a writer perspective and the actor perspective, because season 1 was not only full of passion and suspense, but I think it tells such a pretty relatable queer coming of age story and figuring out identity. You know, did you all feel any pressures with making sure that these characters connected to audiences, right? Lisa, from your perspective, Was that a part of your process of being like, these have to feel authentic?
Oh, 100%. And I think that both has to do with the team around, like behind the camera as well, that you have those experiences within your team, and that you're like, the good thing about a script is that everyone reads it in the film crew. So you are constantly getting feedback on anything you put out. And it's also a process. Like, I think the first scripts Edvin and Omar saw was like maybe the second version of the scripts, and then you like maybe write like 6 or 7 versions. So you are constantly adding in the value of the team and like, yeah, different experiences. And so that's one part of it. And then obviously also to have, I mean, obviously they're both absolutely gorgeous. All our cast is gorgeous, but they also look like people. Like they, you know, they are people you kind of gone to school with or who could be your neighbors. And I think that was really important to not make it too glossy. Just because we're in an upper class world doesn't mean we have to, you know, kind of make it seem like extreme, or there being 30-year-old actors playing 16-year-olds. So yeah.
No, I think that's such a great point. And I mean, even for Simon and Willem, I mean, Omar, Edvin, like there is pressure of making sure that connection feels authentic. As actors, what did it feel like for you all to jump into these roles? And was there any of that pressure of being like, well, I hope this lands. I hope audiences get it.
I mean, you always have that dilemma, like as an actor, with every story. You want it to feel authentic. You want these people, these characters, to feel like you as an audience can relate or sympathize or hate them or love them. You know, all of you start to discover new feelings. You know, and also with this, you know, we like when we shot season 1, we never like discussed the fact that this is going on Netflix. This could be like broadcast to an international audience. None of that. It was just like us telling a story as authentically as possible, which is the best way to make movies or TV series, I think.
Yeah.
And we were really in like our own bubble. So whenever we were shooting and everything, we felt like we really were the characters, because it was like a little bubble over there at Hillerska. Also helped a lot.
Yeah, and also like no, but and also like the whole like having an audience expectations. We didn't really have that in season 1 because we did not know how it was gonna go. So I mean, it's very different now leading up to season 2. It's a different kind of expectation, but you can never know how the audience is gonna react, and you can just try to be like sincere in the way you tell a story. If you're brave and sincere, it's probably gonna work. But like in my mind, I was always writing for my like group of friends. Like I had them in my mind. Like I was like, what would we want to watch when we were 16? What would we have freaked out about? So, you know, you have that kind of like, I'm gonna nail those people and then hopefully the rest will follow.
Yeah, being intentional about this project. And I think you can really see it. And now I want to talk about some of my favorite scenes, because let me tell y'all were acting like beautifully in this show. I mean, one of my favorite scenes was when Willem confronts August. You know, I was not prepared for that level, the level of chills that were sent down my body. I guess, Edvin, talk to me about what was going on in your head leading up to that moment, and having a scene partner like Malte Gardiner, you know, like incredible.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's a great actor. No, that day was actually kind of interesting because this was like during the last part of shooting, and it was cold and it was dark and everybody was tired. But we had to make this scene, and we all like realized that this should be like a turning point in the story, like very clearly. And I remember talking to Erika Kalmeyer, who directed that episode. And we discussed the dialogue, because at first it wasn't going to be all like shouty and that aggressive. It was going to be more like direct communication. But we just started like playing with some ideas, and then I actually think, this could be wrong, I could be incorrect, but I think one scene I just tried yelling out the last part of the scene. So just started screaming, and the fun part is like Malte and the rest of the crew never knew when I was going to start screaming. So, and it's like very echoey in that room too. So yeah, we just started like playing around with it, and Malte added some very nice touches to it himself, like being like trying to get something out of him to say something, but he realizes too that there's nothing he could say, you know. I think
But
it's a
there's
great
so much
scene.
shame. It's so much
Yeah,
shame in that scene coming from him and then being repelled back in this like.
yeah,
And when Wilhelm finally gets to that point of being that upset, you're like, this needed to happen. Like this is the only and August can't say anything to
yeah,
salvage himself in that
yeah,
situation.
yeah,
Yeah, it was the silence. I think the silence of August, it spoke volumes, right? And
yeah,
I even think about Omar. First of all, I love every scene that you and Edvin have, but I love the scenes between you and your sister, you know, played
oh,
by, you know, Argentina, you know, like Sarah. Talk to me about having her as a scene partner, right? Because not only I feel like everyone's trying to find their space in this world, but she's longing for her own place in
yeah.
this space. So talk to me about y'all's connection and how that developed.
Yeah, well, so first of all, Frida is amazing. I really feel that Frida really gave Sarah justice. I really, I just love how she takes on her character. She came in really late into the project. She flew all over from Barcelona all the way to Hillerska to start shooting in like maybe like a few days before we started or something. And we just, I don't know, it just came so naturally. I'm so lucky that I get to work with these actors because I don't know what it is, but I feel like I have like a connection with every single one of them.
Yeah.
And it's
I was
just
gonna say this show is blessed with great actors.
yes,
Yes.
this show is really and just like us as a group of people that work together and as friends, we just have like I don't know, just like we click so well, and it's been amazing shooting with Frida. And I personally do not have siblings, so like to get to live in that little fantasy for a moment, having like a sibling like laying in the bed together talking about my new love, and she like hugs me and tells me like, please, you gotta tell me like who is it, have you guys kissed, all of that stuff. I've never experienced that ever. So for me,
Oh,
it's just so cute to live in that little fantasy. You know what I
I
mean?
love that scene. I love that scene.
No,
So beautiful.
it's so good. I feel like just watching you two together was just like chilling. And even with Sarah and Felice, you know, Lisa, I love that you made sure to create space for all of these characters to
Yes.
develop friendships. And I think, you know, Sarah and Felice's relationship is so significant. How do you see them evolving in season 2?
Oh yeah, I mean, no. Firstly, we are truly blessed with our cast because I have never written something with so much confidence in that they are always going to deliver. And you know, it's really hard because sometimes it's a lot of like things, pressure from the outside of the school that kind of comes in that has to like feel embodied by the characters, which can be really hard because it's like these kind of grown-up values like being pressured down on them. And it's so lovely then when you can actually give them really hard stuff sometimes as well to portray, and they all manage to do it so well. And Sarah and Felice, I mean, I think it's just so interesting. It's kind of like, because we always start like the whole first season kind of start with putting up like our expectations of these types of characters, and very like a lot of prejudice and a lot of like, oh, this is, you know, the top dog August, and this is the top
Yeah.
girl Felice, and this is the outsider Sarah, and you know, like it's very like stereotypical. And then you start like twisting and turning on them and like diving into their actual inner emotions. And I think one thing with their relationship, the girls, is that for me, when I went to school, the girls who were actually at the top, they didn't necessarily have to be like mean to kind of obtain their power. They had other people under them kind of doing that work, but they were just like, everyone was like, that's the coolest person. And everyone was like, yep, agreed, that's the coolest person. And so when Nikita came in, I mean, she's amazing as well. She just gives Felice like so much depth. And it was just so nice to like, because their first interactions are very like Felice being rude to Sarah because she's just in her own bubble thinking about her own issues with the horse and everything, and then kind of like finding this little like freedom through her development, like through her friendship with Sarah, which is felt very important. That's what happened to me in school. I got picked up by the cool girls in like end of like year 9, and they were suddenly like, oh, you're one of us. And I was like, what?
Yes.
Okay. I guess so. And just try to navigate that world. And a lot of love and a lot of like,
I mean, you are a cool girl though, so it's kind of like you belong. Like, what do you mean? I'm confused.
The biggest nerd.
No, like, I really want to kind of stay here and talk about that connection between the cast, right? Because were there like cast hangouts? Are there group chats? Like, how did y'all automatically develop these relationships? Especially because the fans have picked up on the closest. I mean, that Vogue digital cover y'all did, everyone was like, "You're so cute. You're so cute."
Thank you. That's nice. We have a lot of fun together, and I think it's partly because we're all fun people, but also because we spend a lot of time together. I mean, we've shot 2 seasons now, and it's you know, it's long days, and it's pretty far away from where we all live, and you know, we spend a lot of time together, and I think we can all agree that like we have the most fun when it's scenes where we're all together, like in season 1, the opening of the new school, like where the first time you see Simon. That's the kind of scenes that we all have the most fun, because everybody's like improvising, having fun, joking around between takes, and I think it's nice that the audience has picked up on that, because we have a lot of fun and we're very good friends.
And also you have to remember, that was like the first season was shot during COVID, and they were like locked in this like castle outside of Stockholm together. Like there was no parties. There were parties. They were having parties, trust me. But it was not any like clubs. There was not like any clubs open. You couldn't go out and do anything. So they were like literally locked in and very pressured, and like it was so stressful for them. So I was kind of like sitting in my office just getting these updates from set, watching dailies, and just being like, they developed that so beautifully, and like giving each other space as well. I think from my outside writer perspective, in that you are different, but it's just something that it's like you've all like accepted each other as the person you are, and that's so beautiful.
Omar, what have you learned about yourself from playing Simon?
Oh, wow. From myself. That's a really good question, Ryan.
Girl, you know they pay me the big bucks to do this.
Well, one thing that I want to say is that, well, maybe not learned, but maybe developed, I think, is that doing shooting royals and everything, I've really learned how to, you know, accept how I look, and like being confident in my own skin, because there's been times where I've really felt out there, you know, with barely any makeup on, with a huge camera right in front of your face. And, you know, sometimes it can be really scary. I come from the music business, and when I'm shooting my own videos, it's clothing, it's makeup, it's that, you know, it's all like boom, boom, boom. And here's the complete opposite. So I'm really glad also that I've been a part of this, because I feel more confident today and less, you know, scared of showing who I am. And what I look like, you know, on a regular day or whatever, you know what I mean?
Most definitely. And I think that it shows this growth. And that's why I'm so excited about season 2, because it feels like, clearly y'all are just getting started. So Edvin, where do you want Prince Willem to go? Where would you, if you had a perfect say, where would you want to see him like evolve? How would you want to see him evolve?
Be careful with your mouth, girl.
He's like, I didn't choose. Lisa forced me.
You can manifest it. Just manifest it.
That was
No,
pretty-
but I mean, yeah. No, I mean, obviously, like, I'm not the one who spoils stuff, Omar. Yeah,
The shade.
yeah. Bring it, boy.
Come on, spicy.
No, but I mean, I think Wilhelm is a very, very complex person, and he's. I think that's partially due to him being Crown Prince of Sweden, but also him being a young boy growing up. You know, figuring himself out, figuring out his sexuality, figuring out like what he likes to do, who he is, all of that stuff. What kind of music he likes, you know. I was actually thinking about that the other day. I'm gonna post ahead of season 2. I'm gonna like post the playlist I made for Wilhelm for season 2, so people can listen to it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But no, I like to see him like evolve, obviously, as a person, and you never know what that means, like him evolving. Obviously, he loves Simon. He wants to be with Simon. Is that possible? Is he prepared to give up the crown or not? You know, these kinds of decisions have to be like impulsive from him, and I think that's what the audience deserves to see.
Yeah, and I mean, Lisa, it feels
Boom,
like
that's a good answer.
That was a great answer. You did this. Lisa, I think what was so incredible about that last scene in the final episode was this moment where, you know, Willem finds out that his mom, the queen, already knew, and already it felt like there was this betrayal, right? I wonder, have you and the writers imagined an endpoint for the series? Have you imagined how Willem, you know, owns this world that he's in, where he's not feeling walked over or betrayed? What's going on in your brain?
Yeah, I think it's so interesting because most people, I mean, everyone has expectations on them, and that's obviously what we are telling in the story, like the differences between the expectations. And I think what's so unique about Wilhelm is that he's now the crown prince, but he's always been brought up to be a prince and to do the work and live life like a prince. And like Edvin was saying, I don't think he has figured himself out. Like, we were even sending tracks to each other when I was writing season 2, being like, I wonder if he would like find this track, or what would he like, what would his mind space be out after that big scene with Simon and the whole I love you, hope you have a nice Christmas thing, you know.
That thing.
And I had the beginning of season 2. I think I wrote the first draft of season 2 way before we got a green light on season 2, and because I just had this like, I was like, I know how it's going to continue, and we weren't even sure that we were going to get a second season, because you can never be, like, it's TV, you know. And I just like wrote it, and I realized like last day it was like 36 pages of just like, this has to happen. Like, we're going to have to take care of this character. I'm thinking that person is going to go in that direction, and then suddenly you sit there and you're like, oh no, this is going to happen. And it kind of feels, sometimes it doesn't even feel like it's me. It's like the characters has evolved, and Edvin and Omar and all the cast have shaped them, so they're like talking in my head. Which sounds like I'm crazy, but then they just do stuff. Suddenly I'm like, what are you doing? I have voices
in my head. Yeah.
But I'm like, why are you doing this? No, oh my God, he's gonna say this. Don't say it, Simon. And then he says it, and you're like, oh, damn.
If only we could all be in your brain, that would be incredible. But I mean, I'm also hoping that we see, you know, Simon step into his own power, right? He's at this cross path of, you know, his family and this relationship. It feels like, is he going to choose one or the other? Omar, what are you hoping?
He's so scared right now.
Sorry. I didn't hear what you said because you disappeared a little.
It's okay. It's okay. Are you back now?
Hello? Yes, I'm back now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
I was
god.
like,
Way to
I was
dodge
like,
the question,
I
man.
literally thought he froze just so he didn't have to answer the question.
oh,
Me too.
no. I literally didn't hear anything.
No, so I was saying that your character Simon is at this like interesting intersection of his family and this relationship with Willem. Where do you want, Simon to end up? Do you see him owning his power? Does he have to choose? What does this look like for you?
I just feel like Simon just should stay where he's happy.
Mm.
And I just feel like I just see myself so much in him sometimes. So I just, without any spoils or anything like that, I love him and I just want him and his family to be happy. And so, yeah, no more comments about that.
Well, he goes out on exploring himself. Like we can say that, obviously.
Yeah.
Like they are gonna, where they ended up, they are gonna have to do some exploring, and it's kind of like sometimes you have to lose yourself to find yourself. There's a lot of secrets now. We all know that from season 1. There's a lot of secrets that's gonna come into play in season 2. How does that make a person feel? Like how does that make you react, having to have secrets, having to withhold information from certain people, and everyone is going on their own like exploration journey in season 2.
Wow. Oh my God. I'm so excited. And, we are coming to the end of this amazing conversation. So before we get out of here, we do have a little surprise for all the Young Royals fans. Yes, I know you're ready. Here is an exclusive image. Oh my God, I'm about to die. Here's an exclusive image. Go.
Go.
Yay!
Look at us.
Look at them. They're so cute.
Like,
Now
wow,
analyze.
so fabulous.
Analyze.
Yes, the theories are gonna come.
This moment, I'm so excited for season 2. Everyone, you all are just so incredible. One last question, because we know you can't say much about season 2. Can you describe it using an emoji, Lisa?
An emoji. What's the one that goes?
Okay, Edvin.
I'm gonna go with.
Don't say mine.
I don't know yours. I'm gonna go with maybe the that emoji with the the very long.
Mm-hmm.
More like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna choose the one with the one that the head explodes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. One.
By the way,
no, I'm gonna change mine. I want to do this one. You know that one? Yeah.
I love that one. I love that one. And by the way, that was a fan question, so I had to sneak it in there for them.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Brilliant question.
Seriously, y'all, thank you so much for joining. Thank you to NewFest. Thank you to Netflix for hosting. Lisa, Omar, Edvin. Y'all are
Thank you, Ryan.
This was so
Thank
special.
you, Ryan.
Thank you.
You've been brilliant.
Y'all are incredible. Once again, we can't wait for season 2. All right, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.
Take care.